Hi everyone, I'm Ishe, a senior at Shortridge, and today I will be introducing Shaneice, also a senior. Shaneice is a part of the Indianapolis Youth Commission, and she's working with students just like her to bring change to Indianapolis. Hi Shaneice.
Hello.
What is the IYC?
The Indianapolis Youth Commission is basically a collective group of 8 students as of us right now. Well, some of us aren't students. There's one of us that isn't a student. Some of us are college students. But basically there's 8 of us as of right now working together to bring awareness to the things going on in the community and sharing our opinions.
So what do you guys really do?
We have meetings every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, and basically we conversate on what we feel as the community needs, what we feel as the community needs, what we think is could be a help to the community and what they need. We also share our opinions on other political things going on at the time, like we've talked about critical race theory, we've talked about gun violence. I necessarily don't like to call it that because it's just violence in general. We talk about the police officers within the school and things of that sort. So we're basically conversating on a large group of topics that usually youth are not, included into. And we're also working with the city council members to make them aware of how we feel and what they can do.
I know there are a lot of some people may feel a certain way about certain topics, so do you all usually agree on the same thing?
Surprisingly, yes. We usually all kind of people will say different things, but we all kind of come into one conclusion. Sometimes somebody will have an opposite thought, but then there's somebody to convince them or convey the actual understanding. So usually we ended up all being on the same page. As for the youth, the counselors kind of be unsure because they don't speak much, and there has been an incident when a counselor has spoke publicly on social media, and they made a comment, and it kind of went against everything that we've talked about as the Youth Commission.
So you sometimes don't agree with the counselors?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your position?
I'm the chair, the commissioner chair, so basically like the president.
Okay. What has the commission done for you personally?
Personally, the commission has basically jump-started my career, if you want to say. I knew what I wanted to get into. I knew I wanted to speak on my opinions and how I felt and give out solutions, and the Youth Commission has really helped me with that. It has led me into getting on the news, being in youth panels, and sooner or later being a guest speaker for the Hall of Fame. So it got me into a lot of opportunities, and it broadened my public speaking skills. So that's another opportunity that it gave me.
So how do you share your ideas to the youth council?
When we go to our meetings, we have times where we just bring up anything that we feel needs to be talked about, or usually within a conversation I find a way to bring up something that's been on my mind and I feel like that needs to be addressed or needs to be a concern for us. So usually it's pretty easy to just throw something out there for the council to speak on.
So how can students at Shortridge get involved?
Well, this is the pilot program. I'm part of the pilot program, so this is the first ever time they did anything like this. And it's a term till December. I think I started in March, I want to say. I know in February that they're going to do another term, so that's how students can get involved. They're probably going to release, however, the application for it, and it's basically a Google Doc where you answer questions about your passions and how you would like to help the community and why you would want to be a part of the Youth Commission, and you get chosen based on your answers and the feeling that they get from whatever you said.
So are the students all from different schools and public schools, or Warren and other schools?
Yeah, they're from all different schools. There's people that go to KIPP, people that go to, I think there's somebody that went to North Central or something. There's college students. There's people who are not in college, who are just recently out of school but not going anywhere else. So it's a wide range. I think the youngest age is 24. So it's it gives you that span for all the youth.
Okay. So what are some things you learned being on the youth committee?
I would say I've learned a lot about politics, I would say, in a sense. The counselors, they're very a little inactive. They're not as active as they should be, and you learn like the things that they say are kind of like political statements. They're not heartfelt statements. They're just political stuff that political people say. So you kind of learn how that works. You kind of learn how to respond to those types of things when those things are going to come at you. Like as I mentioned with the accident, with our incident with our counselor who made a statement on social media, like it was a political statement. So it was kind of hard for some people to understand or just to have a response and to want to bring it up to him because we know his response will be something political and something that makes sense, but when you break it down, it doesn't make sense. So it's like it teaches you how to get into politics and how to start to deal with people opposing to you or not having the power you have and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. I hope like other students can join or like sign up.
Yeah, I definitely do too. I think it's a great opportunity because even though it can be disorganized and it can be like unfulfilling with the counselor's participation, but it's a good opportunity to get involved into other things and to like I would say to have more awareness of what needs to be done in the community. Because just because you don't know exactly what you want to say or what you want to speak on doesn't mean you can't. So like the Youth Commission brings the opportunity for somebody who doesn't know much to sit there and learn and start to grow their own opinions and get into like conversations or opportunities where they can start to spread and expand their mindset on what needs to be done within our communities. Maybe somebody will become even a little bit more empathetic and change how they feel about certain situations. So it's a good opportunity for kids to just have a new experience and a better experience for us and themselves. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking today.
Thank you for having me.
Hi everyone, I am Nevaeh Smith, a senior here at Shortridge, and today I will be introducing Mr. Jack Thomas, the founder of the Laser Project. Laser Project was created to assist youth and families in Indianapolis to overcome community and educational barriers. We will talk more in depth about what Mr. Thomas is doing to help the communities of Indy. So, my first question for you is, can you describe what Laser Project is in your own words?
In my own words, well, the acronym LASER stands for Literacy, Arts, Skills, Empowerment, and Recreation. And our main focus or our goal uh, was to focus on tutoring and education. While working in this field, I worked closely with probation, juvenile probation over the past 10 years. And I would get referrals for young men ages 15 and 16. And the first thing they would always say is help him get a job. So, like, okay. Come to find out, as we're filling out application, these young men couldn't read or write, but on paper, and they committed every crime you could think of. So I'm like, okay, we got to go back to the basics. Uh, if he can't read or write, yeah, I said, I don't know what job this young man could get or what he could think about. So we try to assist families as well as youth with whatever needs they may have, no matter what the service is. But we take a big uh, we grab on real big to education.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
So, what influenced you to start the Laser Project? What was like
Uh,
a big like determining factor in just getting started?
you want the short version or the long version?
Whichever version works for you.
All right, I'll trim down the long version. It was 2005. I came home from college. I wasn't thinking about anything. I needed a job. I wanted a job. I wasn't trying to go back home and live with my mama. My major was computer engineering. I had one more year of school left. So I had an aunt who was a supervisor at the juvenile center. She said, hey, I can get you a job. You had to fill out an application. I said, great. At this time, it wasn't done online. You had to go down to the city county building. So go down there, finally get there. Now they got 1 million jobs across the whole city of Indianapolis on the wall. You got to find a PIN number, take the PIN number to the desk, and their receptionist will give you that particular application. I'm like, hey, I just drove all the way downtown. It's hot. I had to walk, had to pay $10 a park. I'm applying for everything up here. So I did that, and I got a call from a place called the Marion County Children Guardian Home, just like an orphanage that was here. Once again, I'm not thinking nothing of it. Go to the interview. I get the job. I'm like, man, do I take it? Auntie said she's gonna get me in, make more money at the juvenile center, but I said, forget it, I'll take it. I can get at least two checks. She come back, I'll quit, I'll go work with her. Have my little plan all mapped out, not thinking about what I'm doing. So I'm working with young men ages 13 to 18. I'm having fun. They have a gym. We're playing cards. They got video games. We got 15 passenger van. $1.50 movie was still open on Washington Street. I'm enjoying life. I'm like, I get paid to have fun with kids. So I'm doing that in my last year of school. I was nowhere but Indiana State. So I'll drive home on the weekends, continue to work. Got my first challenge. I worked second shift. The shift I worked was 3 to 11. Really, I only worked 4 to 8 because 3 to 4 was quiet hours. So they were in their room, homework or something like that. 4 to 8 was programming. 8 o'clock, you took showers and they went to bed. So they gave us time to do paperwork and other things. One night I had a young man who was just refusing to go to bed. And so he kept coming out of his room. And I kept prompting him to go back in and reminding him that he has to stay in his room. And so this went on literally for about an hour and a half. And so I said, come here, let me talk to you. Why won't you stay in your room? He said, I can't go to sleep at night. It's like, what do you mean you can't go to sleep at night? Once again, I'm not thinking about nothing I'm doing. It's like at night, my uncle, my father used to do stuff to me. So he tells me his story. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And he was there. He was waiting on some paperwork to get finished so he could move with one of his aunts in Atlanta. And I'm just like, I seen you smile today. We played basketball, we played cards, all this happened to you. And so it kind of challenged me. I've been there over a year. I had access to read kids' files. I never read a file. I had computer hardware. I want to be an engineer. Engineers make money. But I kind of went home that night and I remember I didn't sleep. I was like, I think I know what I want to do. So I go back to my counselor. I tell her, hey, I'm changing my major to psychology. Like, you crazy? You got a semester left of school. You're going to have to go to school another 2.5 years. You got to lose so many credit hours. I said, I ain't want to be an engineer. My uncle always told me about high paying jobs. I just want to make some money. I said, I don't like all this math, so I can work with kids. Did that. So that was like 2005 to 2009. Then I started working residential services, worked at several facilities. Then I heard about this home based side, which is what we do now. And I worked for several agencies and I kept getting encouraged to start my own. Hey, you good? You don't need to work for nobody. So there's a guy, rest in peace, Dr. James Wilson, a great friend of mine, and a lady named Linnell Gates. She has her own agency called the Rose Project, and she focuses on domestic violence. They took me under their wing, and they did everything for me to help me get started. So after 5 years, here we are.
That's beautiful. Wow. That is crazy. Just like picturing like the application process was just mind blowing to me because now I can do it online on my phone. But to
Yeah,
have to go into a building and you got a lot of
yeah.
jobs lined up, that's overwhelming. Like,
Run
wow.
posted on the
I couldn't
wall.
imagine.
You had to get a PIN number and take that to the desk just so you could get that particular application.
Man. Whew. So I want to know, how can students here at Shortridge get involved with the LASER project?
During the week, we have weekly programs. We have a mentoring group for young men. We have one for young women. And also, I'm a part of something called the Indie Mentor Network. It's myself and four different agencies. Uh, no, I'll take that back. Five different agencies. This past summer, uh, we did the impossible. We took over 20 families up to Philadelphia and New York on a college tour. We spent the night. We were there 5 days. Uh, had two buses full. Worked out, no issues, no problems. And we raised the money on our own. And so we have something called the virtual village call as well that we do every Saturday morning. And that's a great way to get involved because it's different agencies. We all offer similar services, but some different. And no matter what the need is, if somebody needed assistance with something, they'll be able to connect with someone.
That's good. All right. And now, how do you work with other schools in Indianapolis?
Um, Working with other schools in Indianapolis, some schools will reach out before COVID hit. I would go around myself to certain schools and just tell them the programs that we offer. And in several schools, they would block out time during the day, during the lunch hour. We work with particular kids, or we would start after school programs and things like that. So, however we can be involved and help, we're all for it. We got a team. It's about 22 of us, so we'll make it work.
Okay, that's great. So, do you think that sometime in the future you'd be able to get that back going, like start that back up, after COVID has subsided?
Definitely. Actually, I met with Lawrence Township this past week, so I know Mary Castle Elementary School was interested. So we're working out some details. But yeah, I'm the face-to-face training teaching guy. I can't stand Zoom, so I can't wait to get back going.
Yes, that's understandable. Absolutely. So, do you have any advice for students wanting to go into social work?
Ooh, yes, I do. You can make great money, but don't go into it for the money. I tell people all the time, you may work. Your check may be $5,000, but you did $20,000 worth of work to get five. What you mean? You got to have a heart and a passion. We're dealing with humans. We're not dealing with machines or parts or different things like that. Somebody can be fine today. Mental illness is real. You do a lot of putting out fires and crises and things like that. But I love it. Keeps me humble as well to know. No, my upbringing wasn't perfect. My family's not perfect, but I have one. My heart goes out to kids who are involved with child welfare, especially foster homes. Now that I know the procedure, because once a child is removed from a home, the first thing the state does is try to locate a family member this kid could go with. And so knowing that there's a shortage on foster families and different things like that, I'm like, so all of these kids just have no relatives, like nobody to care for them. So I love to help people, especially children. I believe in getting them early so they can still grow up and be successful. So as long as you have a heart and a passion for caring for people, wanting to help people, uh, and understanding that every day is different. I got a saying here in the office, hey, I wake up every day and put my boxing gloves on because I don't know what the day is going to bring. I can't put my job description down on a piece of paper. I'm dealing with human lives and there's no telling what may happen.
That's real. That's true. Um, so, what inspires you to keep helping citizens here in Indianapolis?
Every time I believe it's my calling, and God always shows me a sign. I can be down. Hey, I'm going to quit. I'm going to go a different route. My resume good. I can be at a gas station. I'll see a former client. They come up running saying thank you for something I did. Thank you, man. I remember you told me this. I remember. I didn't listen back then, but I listened. On my phone, a ring. Hey, I seen so and so. I asked for your number. I get a text message. I always get some type of sign when I'm at my lowest point, and that motivates me to keep going. I explain to individuals in this field, hey, you're a farmer. You plant seeds daily. The individuals we work with will water them, and you never know. Some plants grow faster than others. Some take years, but you'll see a reward. So don't look for the instant reward. One day, somebody you help or work with, you will see or you'll hear about them, and you'll smile. It'll motivate you to keep going.
Yeah, because you left an impact.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
my final question to you,
Hmm.
last but not least, um, What is something that you want to leave with the students who are viewing?
Something I want to leave students. Hmm. Take advantage of the support and the helps that you have. Definitely stay in school, have career goals, uh, find a path that you want to go down for yourself. Uh, Smile. Everybody around you, you never know what somebody's going through. Some of the cases and things that I deal with at work, I'm shocked that they didn't make the news. But I'm like, wow, there's no way this person did this or they went through that. And also just learn more about the social services field. Um, there may be some individuals who walk the hallways with you all. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know their background. They may be in a foster home. They may be this. I know one thing we call it Joan growing up. Kids like to talk about each other, different things like that. Somebody may not have it all. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know their family situation. So uh, you have, especially if you have a two-parent home, no matter if it's bio, if it's step, if it's this, love those parents because I work with individuals who have nothing. So my job is to assist them and help them to get to a point where they can grow up and live life and be successful.
Thank you so much for that. I hope you all enjoyed this interview because it's a lot of information and it's a lot of resources. I want to thank you, Mr. Thomas, for coming and doing this with us and sharing some insight and motivation and just all around useful, very useful information. We hope to see you change the world continuously. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm going to email you some information that you could pass out and you guys can join some of our Zoom calls and get more involved with myself as well as some other agencies.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Thank you.